that I will come through today and I will see what's up. I will see what's up. I got some stuff that I'm gonna try to get some stuff. We're gonna put it to you live. I'll probably be here as long as I see people showing up. Get this world premiere going. Oh my God. Get this thing rolling. Gonna be here for a minute. See what we got. Setting this thing off real quick. Somebody didn't come through. See if anybody gonna come through. Feel free to take this. What's up? What's up? Can you hear me? Okay, good, 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 good. Good. Okay, glad somebody came through. Can you hear me okay? Give me a one if you can hear me. Check one, check one. What's up? I'm back. Let me know you can hear me. Okay. Glad to hear you back today. Yeah. The poll question was inspired by Shaq and Charles last night. I thought it was got me thinking. Yeah. That was a good question. And I did a video about it. I put it up there, so thought I'd talk about it. Anyway, there's a lot of directions to go in. I just got through seeing the tailgate for the Baltimore Ravens. They come into Buffalo, so that's gonna be interesting. Raven fans, yeah. What you mean? What he say? Tell me why you were shocked. I gotta hear this one. What did RG3 say that was so shocking? I gotta hear this. What'd he say? What'd he say? What'd he say? I'm waiting. I'm waiting on this one. It's true, but it's true, but I'll tell you why not. For one thing, he's not the quarterback that Lamar is. And for two, he's not held in the same confines as Dak is with Dallas. That's there. Now, aside from the racial component, that's why it's there. That's why when they play this game of equality, and he is almost an afterthought. Well, he's keeping it 100 about quarterbacks. I'll probably make that into a video. I'll probably use that one. Thank you. He should be. He should be because I feel that now with Harbaugh as his coach, he got no excuses not to be better. I understand when Bruce Staley was out of his mind with some of those plays they call, but with his kind of skill set, he should be because I think it is a waste. You know, I'm glad. Well, I'm good. RG3. I'm gonna use that as a video. I will do that. I don't know how mad they are. I don't know if they're gonna say they're gonna fire him behind it, but I think that it's a valid point. I did do a video where I talked about Justin Herbert underachieving. And I did say that that was pathetic against Houston. I mean, it was. It was, I mean, he just was erratic. Wow. Not hardly. Not hardly. See, Justin Herbert should be closer to Joe Burrow than Derek Carr. If you agree with what I'm saying, give me a one. If you disagree, give me a two. I said Justin Herbert. No, he ain't tired of it because believe me, he still got more. The shoes still got plenty more bout. Don't get it twisted. You don't run from one plantation to the other. If you run from ESPN to Fox, you still shuffling on the you still shuffleboard on the plantation. He should be closer to Joe Burrow than Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a waste. Derek Carr is erratic as all get out. This guy, some games he looks like he's one of the six best quarterbacks, and other games he looks like he should be in the 26 range. That's where Justin Herbert is headed. And I had high hopes for him. Come out of college, I thought he was gonna be a guy that was gonna be a problem. He got pretty much that's true, Carr, that's true. He had a good top arm, but no, Derek Carr just do dumb stuff. I remember that time he dove over that power line and the ball went out of bounds. He played good once and then he looks like he lost the next. He just too erratic. And I'm sorry, I don't care what the Raiders say. Jack Del Rio, who was just average as a coach, got more out of Derek Carr than anybody I've seen. He had 2 weeks this year, remember? Remember the start of the year? He had the first 2 weeks, he looked like he was headed to something. Then after that Philadelphia game, that's why I say the Eagles got the best defense. Because after that Philadelphia game, he went back to the Derek Carr we all know and love. See, Stafford's got numbers. If you use numbers as an if you use numbers as a criteria, it depends on what your criteria is. If you use numbers as a criteria, I can't do it, but Stafford will have moved to another team and he will have had success. I will say this for Stafford. Had he had a coach like Sean McVay most of his career, we might be talking about him a bit higher because he's been known for stat pattern. So it's not it. It's just that no one looks at Matt Stafford like Aaron Rodgers. That's all. Hello, how you doing? No one does. Do you? Do you look at Matt Stafford like you do Aaron Rodgers? Give me one if you say yes. Give me two if you say no. He might have as good stats, but you don't think about him like that because he's like I call a high second tier. And his career hasn't really been consistent. It's not like we sit around and go, "Oh, Matt Stafford was the second coming of this." He threw a lot of numbers and he has some big years, but we don't sit around. I don't know nobody I know I know a few that have given him some love, but he's never debated amongst the elite. Never. Nah, I haven't heard it. If you have, let me know. High second tier, very high second. But do I put him with the elites? Elites? No, no. And if he did win another ring, do you think he's better than Ben Roethlisberger? I don't know if people are gonna put Matthew Stafford over Big Ben. You know, more closer to more love than Eli Manning, but I don't know if he'd be considered better as good as Big Ben. See, so all rings aren't created equal. That's all I'm saying. All rings are not considered equal. Football is a different animal. We talking jewelry. We hold it differently in NFL than we do in basketball. I'm just saying. Basketball throws numbers and they throw this and they throw this other stuff at you. In NFL, it's a bit different. It's a bit different. NFL hits a bit different with that because we look at people differently. I know I do, and I don't know nobody that's gonna say, "Oh, Matt Stafford is as good as John Elway." That would be a sweet move. That would be sweet because the Raiders would look very progressive. And hey, I think that would be a sweet move. He knows his days are numbered in Pittsburgh, though. And he did do a good job. I mean, and listen, look at what he's stuck with. Justin Fields has got immature issues, can talent, but you gotta have some maturation, and you might not have enough time to weed that out. That's why he got snatched. Couldn't get the delivery. Russell Wilson, you hoping that there's an ounce of what he once had, but you can't be waiting, and he's just not the same dude. And they don't, and they suffer in different spots without it. So it's gonna happen. I'm sad because I look at Tomlin as a Steeler. I just do. And I'm sad about it. But I understand that, hey, it's too much pressure. Pittsburgh fans think they spoiled and they should have. First of all, he done incredible with what he had. I'm sorry, when you had Rudolph at quarterback and some of these other busters you had, and that cat from the University of Pitt didn't turn out. He had some cats. He had to make this thing. He had to basically take duct tape, grease, and chewing gum and get the car going and seal it up. That's what he had. Yeah. And the problem is that they haven't been that good though. Because post Roethlisberger, and remember they were 11-0 in 2020, and then they lost. Just haven't been that good. Roethlisberger used to get beat by Jacksonville. It's just a fact. But let me tell you something. Tomlin ain't no Fisher Price. He actually earned his thing. It's just that sometimes you're going to win the two Super Bowls. You won one, you lost one, and he got to ride it out. He gonna almost get 20 years with a running record. That's not his. You know, it's just so much you can do, but you got to have the talent. What's happening? How you doing? Glad to have you come through. Thank you. You only as good as what you got. So if you don't win, you don't win. And people are very funny. But yeah, because that's the old Fisher Price that you stayed there for like 30 years because you went to the Super Bowl. And glad to have you. How's your day going? You know how it is, Ted. Shoot, sit there. That's what Ryan Day gonna do. And he wins, he bought himself another 5 years. If he loses, he'll be there for two more. You know how it go. Be Fisher Price in it. Hope nobody don't say nothing. Hey, and there are some guys, man. Look, I kid you not. They be sitting there for years, ain't win nothing. Well, we got to second round. Maybe next year. People, yep, bought themselves a life pass. Going out in Milwaukee today. Okay. Do tell me what gets you to Milwaukee. They're a dangerous team. That's what I think about them. I think they got momentum. Derrick Henry is the X factor, and you know the Bills got to be ready for that attack. Of course, if Lamar comes out with play action fake, I wouldn't be surprised either because everyone's going to be stunting on the line. Thank you, Ted. Appreciate that. The Ravens are tough. Prayers and thoughts are with you. I appreciate you coming on here, and that's a very touching that you chose to come here. Wow. See, I like these kind of revelations. Just for people to see that all walks of life of people come through here, and you never know who's watching. And prayers and thoughts are with you. I feel honored and touched. I want the Bills to win. I'm a Bills fan, but I know Derrick Henry gonna have be a problem. And if they don't turn the ball over, yeah, I remember you, but it's been very, been faintly been. It's been a while, but I'm glad to have you coming back. I appreciate you. They're tough. They're the type of team that do usually beat the Bills. The meaty, grind you up, beat you up teams are give us a problem. Gotta be ready for them. It's gonna be a tall, tough task at hand. They physical, you know. Hey, if it works, don't cut it. Because if he turns into a schoolboy and they get waxed, they go find that hair and put it back on. I know about the Ravens. They're a very peculiar bird too, but yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. No, he just has to make sure that James Cook gets cooking and they can play today because it's gonna be time of possession. Yeah, I see what he's doing. It's cold out though. You live in Buffalo around this time of year, you be wearing your hair to your ankles if you could. Buffalo's a cold butt place. Cleveland is too. Lake Erie. You know about that Lake Erie. It's not like you hibernate and you know, you just got to figure out how to be poised and don't do nothing stupid. Yeah, and Buffalo is too. That Lake Erie thing hit cold. It hit. Your butt be freezing, and then in the summertime, your butt be baking. That's what people don't understand about the East Coast. I can't have nobody trolling, so you guys to go from this. I don't do that on here. This is not the place to be saying those kind of things. I don't condone that. So we got to have some respect. Appreciate this poll question. Look at that, Ted. Oh man. You get hot weather. You get 4 seasons in the East. People who don't know, I'm here to tell you, you get 4 seasons. You get 4 seasons. You get real 4 seasons. Yeah, when it's hot, it's hot. When it's cold, it's cold. That's for sure. I don't know what you're talking about. And again, you got to identify who you are because it feels like it's troll central. As people come on here and just have conversations and address the stuff. It's soccer talk. I was talking about football, NFL football from America. But I do respect soccer. It's a tough game, very physical. It don't seem like it. You know, over interesting season. Interesting. Nationally, got some interesting situations once you get past the Dodgers. What will the Mets be like? Will Atlanta regroup? Will Philadelphia come correct? Will Milwaukee get their next step? Will the Padres stop being uh, a one trick pony? The Yankees are kind of hoping that stuff kind of falls into its lap. That's the kind of vibe I get. That's because they settled because they were runner ups. That's the runner up mindset. That's how you know it's different. Until your behind go over the middle and you get hit by someone that's 300 or 400, 300 pounds and knocks you out. It's not easy. I think they got somebody up their sleeve. I hope they do. PlayStation and real time is two different things. And you got guys in the NFL that will leave you sleeping on the carpet. Big difference. The speed, the defenses, is big difference. Madden and that's not the same as playing regular NFL football. Big difference. Well, since you know more than me, you can start your own channel. I'm not going to deal with this today because he's kind of falling out with them. That's why. You didn't know? They did not end on good terms. You didn't know? And I don't know the way he parted. Um, I think he was a Joe Torre dude. There was something that went down. Well, you make me have to. There was something that went down. That's what I remember. So that's what the story was told to me. It's been a minute, man, because I had heard something had happened, and he got hooked up with the Marlins. That I know, but something went down that fell off though. Something went down. So you hadn't heard that though? It's not something that yeah, I think it has something to do with that. Hmm. And they fell out. Some went down. And hmm or they thought he was past the pull date, which he kind of was. I mean, he could still play, but he wasn't the same dude. But I mean, come on now. He ain't exactly hold. They went and got Ichiro. He was past the pull date, so that don't make no sense. Or you got a guy who came up through your farm, and then you get another guy that was like 58 when you got him. Come on now. Don't make no sense. But that's what happened. But they ain't got no excuse to do with they've been so inept for getting speed, you know. So yeah, there was something that went down. Please continue to hit the like. Think everybody's coming through. Got 15 votes so far. Coach is getting love. Yeah, and they picking up cats that, you know, I mean, you're not picking up name brand cats. His name sounds familiar. I try not to, Ted. I try not to. Andrew Wakefield does sound familiar. Yeah, we got Randy Johnson. He was well past the pull date. They got him about 5, 6 years too late. What's up? What's happening, Jay Will? Thank you for coming through. I'm sure Jay Will got something to drop on us. Oh, Jay, will you like baseball? Because your football team and your basketball team suck. So let's see if you can come up with something in baseball. Please tell me you're a baseball fan or who you want out of Ohio State Notre Dame. As long as you be up here talking about them Cowboys and them Sixers. Mm. Well, anyway, see what we got. All right. Got a good poll. Got a good poll going today. Got a real lot of. Well, if they use their smarts, they do 16 to 20 carries. And I'd even use some little drop passes to them. Mhm. I wouldn't. They gotta get him going early. It's a pretty evenly matched teams because points for and points against is the same. So pretty evenly matched game. He ain't gonna get no 7. I said about 5. Only if Josh Allen is trying to decoy. But they just got to make sure that they play smart and don't turn the ball over. That's all I can say. Because I think all it takes, Derrick Henry can break your back with one run. I wish I felt better about the run defense. That's the problem. He's a good fit. He's a good fit. Hmm. Especially when he hit that corner. Because when he gets on that right side, he can shake and juke you and throw that ball across his body. And he's a sight to see. I'm telling you. He gonna give you, like I say, he's hitting his peak in his prime. He gonna be he's I got a lot of respect for him. A lot of respect. That's okay. I'd rather have you tell me the little bit that you know than keep on talking about them Sixers and them Cowboys. So if you want to share about the little we can talk about it because, well, Yeah. Me and Ted talk about that all the time. They always go for that 9-10 win season and they always lose those two typical games. Why is that? Oh, James Franklin always got them all pumped up, and then they lose those 2 games. You know it's coming with Penn State. You know it's coming. It may not be until week 10 or week 11, but it's coming. Never fails. It's always the same. Yeah, that's not where their bread and butter is. Their affirmation power team. They never been known for a lot of, with that quarterback play. No, because they've got chips. That's not fair to Penn State. They did win. Joe Pa had them winning. They used to win. Gonzaga is just a team that never won. Penn State did win. They used to be physical. You used to have to deal with them. They were elite and they were physical. This, if you're going by the Franklin era, and you're going by the last 5 years, I'll give you that. But if you saw Penn State back in the 80s and 90s when Joe Power was running things, no, no, no. They were more like UCLA than Gonzaga. Gonzaga wishes they had Penn State problems. That's why you see what he's coaching, don't you? Where's he coaching? Yeah, I wouldn't say that out loud, but you did. I wasn't gonna say nothing, Jay Will, on that. Don't give him no motivation to get in your face. No, Marcus Freeman wanted that. That's part of the big with that job. It's always politics because that's what they want. But if he wins and they beat Ohio State, he'll probably cry. He'll probably cry. Ted, you better hope Marcus Freeman Notre Dame don't win because you're gonna see some boo-hoo. Oh, they love me. I made it. Oh, it's gonna be crazy. If they win, he be booing, boo-hooing. Tell me something else is new. Yeah, I know Indiana's racist. Got been through the area. It's backwoods. Well, yeah, it get real there. Sure will be like Tyler Perry and oh, they love me. You know, it'd be a good story for him to win as a first, black coach to win the tournament. But he ain't gonna probably, I'm like, I hope he don't say nothing like. But it ain't gonna happen because Ohio State should tear that butt up by like 2 touchdowns. They should. If they don't, then Ryan Day, you gonna be like Morris Day. You gonna probably jungle love you to the side. As Ohio State got the momentum to win, so they bet not blow it. All right, continue to please hit the like, subscribe. Good numbers, good poll numbers, good balance so far. This was a good poll too. I've never been to your tournament. They not very warm and friendly. If you got any, they're not the most warmest, friendliest places. Some of that, and also because there's a lack of just acceptance, but that's a whole lot of other things that go on. But cats are gonna cry regardless because they want to be anointed and appointed. Boston was very rough to your psychological. Yes. East Coast can be very raw to you. Yeah. Well, so what you want to know? Because yeah, I go on that one too. Family in Missouri, Midwest, and they got it where they really like so places in Illinois and Missouri, they got segregation legalized. You go in the neighborhoods, you know where you are. And it's kind of like almost like stamped. Yeah, the only thing with the West Coast, they do it, but they're more low key with it. They're more low key with it. But believe me, it's back roads and backwoods too. It's just that it's done, shall we say, more uh subtle. It's subtle with it. If you're in the wrong section, yes. Okay, Amini Reedy. Okay. You could be in the wrong place on the West Coast. Mhm. Southern California is very divisive. It wasn't always like that, but it's been like that. When I say that, now it's always like that, but been like that. There was some people that was cool, but there was a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with it. And I will tell you this, Jay Will, California prisons is real segregated. Yeah. They separate. They got that's where it's real. It's real. That's the part they don't, when they romanticize in Cali, they don't tell you how they get down. That's real. But you can look at Hollywood and see that. Yeah, they do. They get very divisive. They've had issues. They've had issues. They've had issues. I've never heard it at a Laker game, though. But the baseball, yeah. And some of the football, yeah. Especially the baseball. The Dodgers Giants, that mess. Oof. That stuff ain't no joke. Dodger Stadium, man. Woo. Mm. Appreciate everyone hitting that poll so far. Great responses and views and everything. So glad everyone's coming through. Emily, Rita. Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. Because that mess at Yankee Stadium was embarrassing. Them two turkeys should have been charged with assault. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But I've been there. Been there a lot of time. I've been there. And it's a very distinctive place to say the least. The West Coast has a whole different hit than the East Coast and the South and the Midwest. That's one thing. If you lived in the States and you've been to different places, you can feel a different level of trajectory. It's not just time difference, it's the way people vibe. It's different. Yeah, Dodger fans came to celebrate, and of course they were mourning Fernando Valenzuela, but they came to celebrate. But them two turkeys that tried to take Mookie Blaylock's hand off, that was just embarrassing. So they should definitely. There was assault. They grabbed his hand in the stands. They won't let his arm go. I'm like, how the heck you gonna spend all that money to spend all that money? Because it costs money to go to Yankee Stadium, and you gonna sit there and get your butt banned off of just stupidity. And look at them put y'all in an insane asylum behind that mess. I mean, that was embarrassing. But it's not the first time in Yankee Stadium, and it won't be the last time, sadly. Yeah, they were. Get this thing together. All right, people, hitting this like, hit the subscribe. Let me see what we got. I didn't care for it, and I thought it just left a bad taste. And that's one of the reasons why I was glad the Dodgers did win, because I thought they came to play and they fans, and it wasn't none of this unnecessary. And it's like that just only added insult to the feud. Well, that one way to stop the Dodgers, I get, but that was just trifling, bad sportsmanlike, and bad sportsmanship. Yeah, he was going through it. Hey, he doing what he get paid to do. Don't be mad. Why don't y'all try to get him? Cause he sure outplayed the Yankees. He showed up 2 3 games. They didn't show up for 2 3 games. There you go. He wanted it badder. Can't get mad at what the obvious. So I can't be. I can't be mad. That wasn't trash talk. That was just some bully antics. That was just on something that didn't have any merit whatsoever to do with the actual game. You know, the bottom line is they got their butt served. Oh yeah, they're horrible. He didn't really whipping you. He did okay. He didn't catch the best of him. No, he didn't. He didn't whip. Not like he stole a couple bases, did a couple things. Mookie did a couple things. They didn't really tee off on us. That's the scary part. Yeah, Veteran Stadium always been full of it. They always have had some of the most um garbage fans ever. Yep. Was at a baseball game and the dude it was some mustard or something. It was something that went down, relish or something. I forgot what happened. Next thing I know, mm, it was crazy too. It was, I think it was that. I don't know if it was an Astros game. It was something. And people be doing some stupid stuff at the worst places. And let me want you to tell you a story. Security comes up when they feel like it, but sometimes they don't do jack. Unless, of course, it's on the cameras. I believe it. That's why I don't believe in going to these games. I went to stuff as a kid, and I'll tell you like this. Um, Demic or no demic, you couldn't pay me to go in the stadiums no more. Mm-mm. People are too unruly. They're too unruly. They don't know how to behave. And they loud. Alcohol be getting them talking crazy. And you know, it's just one of those things that it's it's just too much to take into bear. So mhm, they do. Because people be saying some most and something like if you're gonna start banning people, well, then you need a sense of what they say. Cause it's one of those things where it's some of the most puerile, way past vulgar. And they're not even it's not even about the game. They just saying stuff just to be saying it and no one's saying nothing. So I don't want no parts of that mess. Cause then you end up fighting somebody and it's not good. You know. Well, I'll tell you, I'll go back further than that. My grandparents and people went to go see Jackie Robinson play, late 40s, early 50s. They used to hold black cats over the stand on the feet over the stand. Say, "Here, come get your mama, come get your." That's how they used to address them. So there was some real healing. What he endured, the hecklers were beyond. So this. is bad. That was even 100 times worse. And they never address that. They never do. That's what Russell Westbrook was getting ready to fight them fans in the stand. They throw fruit. They, talk trash. You know what happened with Bill Russell? Should go all the way to his house and leave their business on his bed. I mean, just some sick, just very sick. It wasn't that long ago either. Yep. People come to the ball games and throw banana peels or mhm, call you all kinds of names. Well, see, a lot of people don't understand it, don't see it because it's been whitewashed. They didn't somehow they marginalize it. They talk about you like a dog and treat you like a dog. Not booing because they think you suck or they pulling for the home team just to be taunting you because of the color of your skin. That's a fact. So that's what's up. Yeah, Reggie went through it hardcore. Oh, that's always happened. That still happens to this day because Chris Paul went through it, and they all go through it. hmm That's exactly right. And then no one says nothing. No one don't know nothing. You know, they've allowed that to happen. hmm That's one reason why I don't watch hockey. hmm I respect the sport, but I don't mess with it. hmm I believe you. I believe you. But that's why I don't mess with hockey, though. And that's one reason why I don't have no big discussions about hockey because I don't trust it. It's not that I don't respect the game. It's just that they are not exactly as progressive as they need to be. And they've had a lot of situations that have gone under the wings in totality. hmm Yeah. Seeing when black athletes talk about it today, people are going to say, oh, you just play a race card and you can't take this and that. No, it's psychological demeaning. So let me see. So that's part of it, but only when you're successful. That's where it really comes into next swing. See, they can tolerate you playing, but when you start to hit, the Mahomes thing shaking them up. Lamar is getting scary. You know. Yeah, but success is the part that's gonna be the one. That's gonna be the one. I'm with you on that one, Jay. Will I don't ice skate. I roller skate. I will roller skate to this day, but I don't mess with ice skating. I got a lot of respect for ice skaters, but it wasn't in my DNA. Yeah. Well, the one who can win though, that's the question. That's the boss all is about. Can you win? Let me get some straight. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's see. Jordan Love just got out. You got Jaden. You got Mahomes. You got Lamar. You got Josh Hurt. Let's see. You got what you got left. You got one, two, three, four. TJ Stroud, five. You got Allen, Stafford. Goff, three. Mm, Yeah, you still got 5-3. That's all. It's not like it's not overabundance, but it's the success factor. That's the criteria. Start bench cut. I'm gonna start Aaron Donald. Bench Bob Lilly, and I'm gonna have to cut Joe Green. That was pretty tough, but that's what I have to do. Because Aaron Donald's gotta start. And Bob Lilly was a bad boy. And I like Mean Joe Green. Yeah, well, Aaron Donald was a beast, yo. Shoot. Because in his defense, unlike those other two guys, he was like the combination of two or three men in one. You had to have two or three guys hang on to what he was doing. He ain't play with no great defenses like those two guys did. But Lilly was bad though. I mean, Joe, I liked him too, but I'm not gonna say that. But he's in the argument. One of those guys I'll say that was bad for his generation. I'll say that. But when you start saying the best ever, you got to put in consideration the kind of defense he had, the era he was in. There's a lot of factors. He could add a lot more sacks, but I don't know if he could command like Aaron Donald. That's a great question. But the problem that I had with that, I could make the case that Watt may have been better for what he did individually, but Donald led that team to a championship. Donald had championship aspirations. That's the difference right there. I love Sapp. And if Sapp had been busted for the reefer coming out of college, he would have been drafted higher. He hurt his stock and that's why he landed with Tampa Bay. But he came in the first game, made an immediate impact. He broke Steve Rice and Jerry Young. I mean Jerry Rice and Steve Young's ankle break. Got them guys out the first play. Sapp was bad. I didn't like how his career ended though with the Raiders though. Sapp's one of those kind of cats. I always like Sapp. Tough, hard nosed, fiery, attitude, did his thing. They were. 'Cause after he wailed in the far forward, pat him on his head, and you had to be strategic in Sapp because he could just take you out. So yeah, that's what's up. Trying to think. I like Randall. Randall was bad for individualized. Mm, it's kind of different because when again, you asking me the guy you can win with, the guy that can get you the numbers. Uh, Randall was intense. Sapp was bad, and he could bring it. I think I would give a slight edge to Sapp though. There's very few I would because his style rubbed off, and he was a leader. But Randall was bad though. Don't get it twisted. It's close. But that's why I asked the question because I wanted to get that kind of feedback. Um, I've we already talked about it. Obviously, and funny, Shaq was going it with Charles, but Shaq won his rings with Phil Jackson, Pat Riley. So there is something to be said about specialized coaches, just like Belichick. I gotta wait and see what he does. I gotta wait and see what he does because he's just now entering it. They're in the honeymoon phase. Everything is nice and everything is romanticized, but I got to see what happens to the business. Now we're going to see he gets the coach he wants, the players he wants, the personnel he wants. Then we'll see what it does. Because right now it's just like daydreaming. So yeah, that's all I can say right now. It's still early, and I got to see what they draft. I got to see what their alignment's going to be like. They're a work in progress. We're talking 2 3 years. You ain't taking Kansas City out no time. So you're not far off far as being close to being a 5 6 win team. See, let me give it to you like this. Teams that win 4 or 5 games and go through a lot of coaches and stuff, that's a 2 3 year project before we even get you back up to snuff. So you're nowhere near to being mediocrity. He is what he is. What you want me to say? He looked like the Sam Darnold we all came and know and loved the last 2 games. Because now you start to wonder, was a system built to cover his flaws? He took too many sacks against the Rams. He got to be smarter than that. Throw that ball all the way to the other side of the state. You can't be getting sacked and hit. You're taking too many hits. So he might get another shot. He might get dropped. I don't know. They pretty much feel they can win with whatever they put back there, except when it's time to win, they don't win. That's the best way I can say it. You got to win. You got to win. You don't win. Mm. That's all I was asking. So that's the problem he runs into. All right. Keep on with the comments and the thoughts and everything. Starting to get kind of quiet again. We can't get stuck on Sam Darnold. We definitely can't get stuck on Sam Darnold. I'm not the biggest Sam Darnold fan. I think he's pretty mediocre. He had an out of body. It looked like he had an out of body this year. You know, I think if they lose, Salami's in trouble. And then the whole thing by not letting Saquon get down, Jalen Hurts starts to have question marks. AJ Brown, they're gonna have a lot of question marks on their offense, which they do. That is their problem. They don't dominate like they should. That's why I don't know how you can act all high and mighty and not let Saquon go off the Rockets when you need, you know. So if they lose, it'll be a major letdown. So they'd be in a lot of trouble if they don't win. Because I still think they probably might be the best team. I think Detroit might be the team of destiny as far as going, but I think Philly is the best team in the NFC and their best defense. So they don't go. That's a lot. That especially people are going to come after Lamar viciously, and no one will come after James Harbaugh, which they should, because he's starting to get fishy. He's Fisher Price too. In fact, his Fisher Price is even worse than Mike Tomlin's, because at least in Tomlin's case, he got a built-in excuse that he's had the bottom of the barrel at quarterback, or you know, what is going to be Harbaugh's excuse? Because Joe Flacco was back there when before Instagram was around and Snapchat. What's your excuse, man? And you didn't had a guy who's a two-time league MVP that finishes in the second or the first for a couple other years and been a dominant offensive force and a Derrick Henry. Yeah. What video do you have on others while you still got a job? That's all I want to know. So it'll be pretty bad for me. So that's all I got to say about the Ravens. Originally East Coast. What about yourself? They won't even say nothing. Sad to say they won't hold Josh Allen accountable. They won't really get Sean McDermott. McDermott should be held accountable if they lose because this is probably his best chance to sneak it off, but there's no accountability. None. But there should be. Should be. Mhm. That's my thoughts and my take. Because if Philly loses, I think Salami's job is on the line. If Baltimore loses, they're going to come after Lamar, but Harbaugh's butt should be on the line. If the Bills lose, no. No, let's see. Okay, with my MVPs right now, my top five, SGA, Giannis, Joker, Giannis. SGA's first. I can't reward him because his team is not top 5. So, because if I'm gonna be honest, right? Shoot, Jalen Green would get a top 5 consideration before Wimby, if I'm gonna be honest. This year he would. So no, no. Top 10, no, yeah. MVP, yeah. If the Lions lose, then Dan Campbell's gonna be questioned to an extent once they get stop the romanticism and the hocus pocus tricks. But they didn't play no defense, injuries caught up with them, and his hocus pocus gimmick doesn't work in totality. So he has to get to the NFC Championship game. He has nothing. If he doesn't get there, then they'll be ready to pull the plug on him in a couple of years. Mm. So that's all I gotta say about that. But Philly, Baltimore, and Detroit, Philly and Baltimore, if they lose, it's a lot worse for them. What's a hot take? Tell me which one's the hot take. What I said about the Lions or what I said about Baltimore and Philly? Tell me which one's the hot take. Dan Campbell will be questioned for his gimmicks and his, David Blaine ways and, you know, but it won't necessarily work against him because he's got carte blanche because the Lions stuck for like 25 years. So anything he does, he looks all right. Unless he don't get blowed up by Washington. If they get blowed up by Washington, then all bets are off. They get blew out by Washington at home, then they move up to number 1. It'll be even worse. It'll be even worse than Philly and Baltimore, considering all the gimmicks and all the hustle, because they pretty much got people on the straight that they were the best team in the NFC and the team that should have came out the Super gone to Super Bowl last year. So if it hurts him now, he got only 1 more year. He can get away with that gimmick. Please continue to hit the likes, hit the subscribes, hit the poll. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A lot of people are forecasting it. A lot of people want them to lose because they too afraid of dynasties. That's a bad word. They think Mahomes has had too much success too soon. Andy Reid is just sitting up there eating all the buffet of rings and sitting at the table, and they tired of Kelsey and Swift and all that. So they hope that they lose because they feel like they got a rabbit's foot and everything going for them. So they're actually in a win-win situation because if they win, people be nauseous. They say we expect it. If they lose, then people be happy, think we got hope, we got a chance. But it's a lot with them. Talk about yeah. So be honest with you, and so keep on going. I'm ready for the Rams in Houston. You ain't gonna ask me if they lose what my take is on them. I got to take on all these teams. It's true because shoot, you blocking field goals at the end, the ball doinks off, the ball doinks in. I mean, all the craziest stuff that could happen at the end of a game happened in Kansas City for Kansas City. So people are gonna be thinking that this is like David Blaine. I mean, that's how their season has been. Um, then it means the NFC is strong because think about it. If the Rams were to lose, the Rams win, then everyone's going to throw out the rockets of Philly and Detroit to an extent. And remember, the Rams did come back in that first game of the year against Detroit, took that game overtime and lost a close game. So it's not like the Rams can't be a problem. That's the scary part about the Rams, that they might be lower seed, but they're a dangerous seed if they can win. So that's not the team you want to be playing with. But if they lose, Sean McVay somehow he'll still be getting a pat on the head, even though he shouldn't, because he's been to two Super Bowls and he has a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, and they do have a good offense. And there's no reason why he can't be more consistent than he is. Just saying. Because he's on that Fisher Price list if he don't get past the second round, you know. So just saying, that's my ticker for the Rams. But Baltimore and Philly got a lot to lose if they don't get it. Um, he won't make it, Jay Will. Because McDaniel's out of his mind. He up there trying to talk tough to Tyreek Hill. They didn't already pretty much told him what they think of him. They quit on him. They can't play in the cold. His glasses fog off from the steam. They play gimmick ball. They have no defense. Their secondary is soft like jelly. So yeah, he's he's a one and doneer, and his team is just soft. And your quarterback is one good hit from being a stuff um dummy at your local hospital. So what you gonna do with that? Can't run the ball. That's why Tyreek talking about getting up out of there. It just they this gimmick ball. It's fun, but then by the time it gets cold, you know about Miami. If you got Miami on your schedule in the December, January, and it's cold, put that L, take that L, put that L for them. Too scared to get in the cold. The Texans, um, they won a playoff game. This is really their window. Get to the second round. Now, Willie D, I think, got them beating Kansas City. CJ Stroud can play. DeMarco can coach. But I haven't seen anything that tells me that they are a championship caliber team. Not in recent memory. And beating Justin Herbert don't count because he threw picks and they still hit a bomb on you. Still had the chance to make that game close. So let's not act like, oh, the Texans are just no. So no. Yeah, because Ricky Williams ran against Buffalo in the snow. He played great. Don Shula used to not coach in the snow. Shoot. But this McDaniel, he can't coach in the snow. Now, the last couple of years, they butts get tapped in the snow. They tap out. You see ice, they freeze. So it ain't nothing but gimmick ball. It ain't nothing but gimmick ball. I had to hear these old stupid heads on sticks talking about, yeah, two are gonna have the Dolphins over the Bills and the Jets. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How that turn out? How that turn out? He played well in the snow. Bob Greasy did. Quite a few of 'em. Once you know how to utilize your hands and you know how to utilize your plays and everything, you can figure it out. But this bunch is too soft. They melt like Frosty the Snowman. So that's how I look at it. But I ain't got no problem with it. I'm not a Dolphins fan. I don't even think about them. I can't stand them because they didn't give the Bills no competition this year. And see, I'll tell you like this. Yeah, he sure did. He adapted real well because it's how you grip the ball, how you position the ball, and then you learn formation. Belichick used to use a great trick where he used to wet the balls up in practice, and so they would play for all kinds of conditions. That's an old rule um, that he said Bill Parcells taught him. You know, you got to learn how to play and move that ball. But that's not it. It's psychological. It's just that Miami's soft. That's all. Y'all, the Packers tore they behind up. Remember? You remember? They went up there to Lambeau and got their butt roasted in the cold in November. Got roasted. So, shoot, Dan Marino did that trick play against the Jets in the cold, if you remember. Fake like he was putting, then threw that touchdown. Shoot. And y'all tore they behind up. That's why. So, I know I get people kind of upset because they want me to go into detail about scrub teams and stuff. I don't. I'm mad at the Miami Dolphins and the Jets and the Patriots because the Bills had no competition in the AFC East. The season was over in the division by week 6. What we supposed to do with that? Play out the last 5 or 6 weeks like we got to be serious. The teams had already tapped out. Sometimes you see a tap out, you got to take it for what it is. Bad football, bad teams, bad division. Got to have competition because that badness is crazy. Yeah. Just like when I saw Dallas, they were done by week 7 or 8. So we gotta still go through the motions for the last half of the season. You know, you should come on this show. I'm not hating, and you can say I got Bills bias, but I'm gonna keep it 100. I saw that train falling off the trail before it had a chance to get going because you were buying into a 40-year-old quarterback who got sacked by the ground. His butt fell on the ground and he was out for the season. That's the bottom line. And their defense then fell off a step. They're just they're just a team that at best maybe 6, 7 wins. I ain't gonna say nothing about that. But see, these head on sticks who come on these networks, they got an agendas. I don't have no agenda. Ain't no agenda. If my team sucks, I'll be the first to tell you. But if my team can tear your behind up and you suck, I'm gonna be telling you that too. But I knew the Jets weren't gonna be about nothing. I saw Aaron Rodgers last 2 years in Green Bay as Ted did too. Yeah, I already did my video. I got no more to say about it. He should be happy he gets to sit and get a cushy job in the morning. What's he want to go back to there for? I don't know why he wants that job. He just was ordinary. It really didn't go nowhere. I'm not gonna say that he bombed with us, but he just didn't go nowhere. And then he was like a bad parody when he sat there and said, "I didn't come here to kiss Belichick's rings." I said, "Well, what did you come for? You got out coached." You know. So that's why I call him Rodney Dangerfield. You know. He's a joke, period. It's not so much about who he joins. He's a joke, period. He's funny, but keep his butt over there. You know. Okay, keep on hitting the comments. What we got, what we got, what we got. I never heard that. Is that actually accurate? Of course it makes sense. Him and Jerry, so why not? See how you get a second chance? Don't get me started. And I gotta watch what I say because I'm on these streets, so I gotta watch how I say stuff because that could make me go off. Not surprised. The last one to tap out those three, Buddy Ryan. You had it in order. Rob round his welcome quick, and then Rex was next, and Buddy was last. Buddy was the feisty. They have parts of their daddy. They ain't got the totality, but he had a run. You know, wow, John Gruden. Yeah, because you know why it can make me go off because of why he got unceremoniously taken down from Tampa Bay. And then if you think about Jerry Jones and pictures and his reputation, and then you think about those two worlds coming together, and what do you think I'm thinking? If you've been following me and you done heard what I done said about old Chucky and old Jerry Jones, you know. So, and Gruden got the boy Wonder still looking like he should be on Little House on Prairie, the Waltons. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. That's all Jerry Jones wants. That's all he wants. That's what he wants. That's all he wants. I don't even want to think about Gruden and Jones, but I don't think I'm tough on Dak. Well, Jerry Jones' son is just following the blueprint of what their daddy want. They don't really go off the press out the box. I don't think I'm tough on Dak. The guy has never gotten past the second round. You play for the Dallas Cowboys. You're a highest paid quarterback. You were second MVP voting. Ain't you supposed to have some standards? Ask Ted and Jay Will if they think I'm harder on Dak, and do they think that's hard when the guy plays for the Cowboys, highest paid quarterback, and second MVP, and never got out the second round. Yeah, that's kind of, all due respect, Carter. That's kind of a soft take because hey, I didn't write the rules. He played for the Cowboys. He's the second highest paid. He's highest paid quarterback. He was a runner up for MVP consideration, and he never got out the second round. And he's been in the league 10 years. How's that tough on him? So you get Jay Will and Ted. If you think I'm too tough on Dak, give me a one. If you think I'm not tough on Dak, give me a two. One for tough, two for not. I don't think I'm tough on him. I think I'm balanced. He just hasn't delivered. He's a meathead. He allowed Jerry Jones to, to pimp him. You don't go and say, uh, you can go talk to Chicago. You can go talk to this team. That's a meathead move. Shoot. Ain't no good coach gonna sit there. Ain't no coach worth their weight going to play you like that. He got allowed himself to get played. That's a meathead. He will never do that. And that's what Arthur Banks does in Atlanta. That's why he lost that Super Bowl. Thank you, Jay Will. Thank you. I'm not hard on him. Shoot, y'all know. Listen, I'm not going to discredit your football knowledge, but I'm going to tell you like this: you play for the Dallas Cowboys. You're second in MVP. You're the you're the highest paid quarterback. You've never gotten out the second round. You play for the Dallas Cowboys. What else do I need to say? What else do I need to say? Now, if Dak Prescott played for the Atlanta Falcons or Arizona, Jacksonville, you know, you play for the Dallas Cowboys. If you ain't got no standards, that's like playing for the Lakers or the Celtics or the Yankees or something. You know, when you play for the brand, you got to deliver because the GM is there to do his job. That's why you hired him. I'm doing all right. What's up? No, it's just that he got brought up. That's all. I didn't bring up. I don't. Carter brought up. They talking about I was hard on Dak. I ain't hard on Dak. Dak be playing like he whack. That's all. His own defense called him out in that game last in the what was it? That scrimmage 2023. Some of these cowboy people forget. They said stop throwing a pick. They dissed him in the training camp because they said they told Stephen A. They went up on Stephen A. Smith and said we gonna be fine. We don't know about him. He get dissed by his own team. Before you come at me, he gets diss track. Micah Parsons disses him on the podcast all the time. Talking about Joe Burrow was great. He ain't say nothing about no Dak. They don't talk about Dak. Shoot, for all I know, they probably got some underground Dallas Cowboy parts where they say Dak is whack. So before y'all come at me, you better go talk to Michael Parsons. Uh, the- that running back was okay. The one that came in after Zeke was okay. That's not the score. He threw some bad picks. He throws some bad picks. He threw some bad picks. Sometimes he gets caught trying to he threw the ball doing too much. What about the years past, prior years? I'm sorry, you can't be walking around playing for the Cowboys with 2 postseason wins and not expect people not to take a shot at you when you've been in the league almost 10 years. What do you expect? And I've said this before, and I'm gonna say this again. If you could mix him and Tony Romo as one, you'd have probably the greatest Cowboy quarterback and probably one of the 10 greatest quarterbacks ever because they both had things. No, you're the quarterback, you're the most important player on the team. Parsons can be a diva, but you got to understand the quarterback is the most important player on the team. They go as he goes. He showed on. Yeah. You need to listen to Jay Will. He's speaking the facts. He's speaking the gospel up in here. It's the stone cold facts. They underachieve and they always look like they lost like a deer in headlights, get blown out, make everybody's quarterback look great against them in the postseason, and they stink. You know, they stink. And they got too much talent on defense and pieces and places to be so mediocrity. He got to be tough on him because he's his quarterback. You pay and hey, he represents you. That's not tough at all. Belichick was tough on Brady. Look at that Legarius Blunt interview. Legarius Blunt said Brady threw an interception. He said, I got to hear about how great you are, but you missed that man wide open. What's wrong with you? He had a soft spot for Romo. He really did. He had a soft spot for him. A little too soft, too, because Romo just never could get it done. But he was more loose than Dak. I told you, if you took Dak's poise and Romo's spontaneity, you'd have an incredible quarterback. It's peanut butter and jelly. I like Romo, but Romo was and he was erratic at times. You know, when he'd had them games where he could be on fire, and then he just drop a dud. I liked Romo. I sure did. We got 28 votes so far. This is great. Nah, I never picked that up. Nah, I didn't pick that up. Nah, you picked the wrong owner and the wrong quarterback. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Ask Ted about what owner and quarterback you might think that of, not them two. Well, Aikman was right because he couldn't stand the thought of Barry Switzer come back. Then he had Dave Campo. I mean, he brought some dudes that even on a reality, even on a comedy movie, that's like bringing Pauly Shore in. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I'm supposed to win with that. And I understood where Aikman was coming from because Jerry was so set in his ways that he'll get anybody he deemed worthy. And that's what he got stuck with. And he got stuck with some busters. That's what got reasons. I think because his regular season was so, you know what I'm going at. The postseason was so underwhelming and he was so incredible during the regular season. And I told you before, they moved him out to AFC East. The people who know anything about this, Chad Pennington waxed that butt poetically, the Jets against the Colts. Chad Pennington was like a third tier quarterback. Everybody used to tear that behind up. Ted, no. That was the one that comes to mind. Ted, no. He know. Because Kraft did have a soft spot for him. He didn't really want Belichick. He didn't care about Belichick. He loved him some Brady. Not because he was winning. I mean, it's a long story. But anyway. But yeah, you can make a strong case about that with Peyton. His 2 Super Bowl wins, he didn't really do a whole lot either, especially that last one against the Broncos, because Von Miller pretty much was a one-man gang. Just hold the ball. So when I factor in his postseason and what they did, it does come across. You can definitely look at him and think he was vastly overrated. But I can't say he was the most all time because he does got 2 chips, and he did, play up, and he did stay in the championship games and play. But he could make a case. Of course, you could say Aaron Rodgers got him beat though, because Aaron had an easier division, had a easier situation, and just didn't bring it. So that's an interesting question. I think they over talked about him. They definitely were all. He was not on. He was on the regular season and stat part, and what he did with the Omaha on the line with Brady. But Brady was a better quarterback though. I don't know if I'd say we're the worst because they scored more than the Rams did in that Super Bowl against the Patriots. So I don't know if I'd say the worst. That's debatable. But I was surprised that Bears team did get there. Yeah, he couldn't handle the ball in the rain. Prince had a better chance holding the guitar in the rain than Rex Grossman did. That's a fact. Prince was playing guitar in the rain with a do rag on his head and heels on and playing. Rex Grossman was under huddle. That ball was just whopping out his hands and wobbling and drobbling. So you might have a point that part. But Devin Hester did get that touchdown. And it wasn't like the coach ran him off the field. It wasn't like, it was a couple instances. It was an ugly Super Bowl, I'll give you that. As far as the game was ugly. Prince saved that game because that game was ugly. The Colts and the Bears in the Super Bowl, who wants to see that? And ironically, they played the start of I forgot what game they played. The Bears tore they behind up. Yeah, but they all in the same boat though, Jay. Brad Johnson had a chance to be better than Grossman, but he was inconsistent. Trent Dilfer was not better than Rex Grossman. He lined up better, but he was just hardcore game manager. Yeah, but they got in though. They got in. And Lovie Smith did a great job, so I can't hate, you know. I mean, I give where credit is due. They did get to Super Bowl, and that was tough. Because you can say that, right? And you can say Justin Fields and Caleb Williams run circles around Rex Grossman, but I don't see either one of them cats sniffing a Super Bowl, let alone being in one. Unless, of course, they get the ultimate situations. I just don't see it right now. Because Justin Fields is getting ready to be 3, 4 years in his career. And if he getting benched for an old, broke down Russell Wilson, that's not good. Well, that was a different era, Jado. I mean, that 2000 Ravens, that was a different era. They changed the rules since then too. You don't see nothing like that no more. Philadelphia by now make closest, and they're not nowhere near that. But the game then changed because all you had to do back then was score about 17 points, and you was gonna hold serve. It's not like that today. Man, they were one of the worst. They were one of the worst. I think because of the quarterback. I think it's because of who's starting quarterback. That's what makes you say that. And I give you that. I'll give you that. But that Super Bowl was lackluster to begin with. You know, it was because of those teams that made it. Who beat him for the Heisman? I gotta remember. Who beat him for the Heisman? Refresh my memory. Cause I didn't, I just think that those two teams that played that year for that Super Bowl were lackluster. And it was a lackluster game. Oh yeah, okay. Well, Carson was nice back then. Carson was nice back then. So Carson Palmer had potential. All them boys going to the Bengals. Palmer, Andy Dalton. Now Joe Burrow, better than them, but they all have potential. Shoot, Dalton's gonna play till he's about 40. I don't know why though. Okay, let's continue to get these clicks, views, everything coming through. I'll be on for a little while longer. Definitely gonna be on for a little while longer. So let's see what we can do. We got 30 votes in, 77% said yes. This is a great poll. This is one of the best polls I've had in a long time. This one is great. Thanks, Ted, for mentioning Carson Palmer. Because you can tell I forgot all about. He was bad for a moment, but he was a second tier quarterback in the NFL. He had some moments and then he just kind of fell off. Okay. Yeah, when you say Eric Crouch, that right there. But again, some of these cats were good in college. So I can't hold it against them because what they were in college and what they turned out in the pros is two different entities. Some cats were bad in college. Some. Well, it depends on who we talking about. I mean, the obvious names, but people picky about who they want till they cook out. Can't say. No, no. I don't really think of Josh Allen like that. I like him okay as a quarterback. He ain't right in my cookout. I know about him. No, I would say OJ Simpson. J Will, I'd say OJ. Because he was sensational both. And he pre Barry Sanders and you know, I'd say OJ. I can defend it on both cases. He was incredible in SC, and of course he was the first 2000. And Barry reminded me of him. They in my top five. They two of my top five greatest running backs ever. So, but I'd say OJ. Well, like I said, sometimes with the Heisman, it don't really mean nothing because if the cats don't turn out to nothing, does it really matter? You know. Nah, I ain't really thought about Josh Allen Ted on that. He's not. I don't have any reason to. Yeah, Jason White. Thank you. Sometimes I forget on purpose because some of these guys just never had a career, and that was it. A lot. You know what happened with college football? Cuts like Eric Crouch. When the quarterbacks started winning, then they get drafted and they were bust. That's what hurt the thing. That's what made it not credible. So there used to be a time if you won a Heisman Trophy, you know, it's kind of like what happened to Reggie Bush. It just didn't. It didn't pan the way it thought it was going to. Had he been half as good in the NFL as he was in college, but he's, yeah, Andre Ware, that's a great one too. That's why it's very fleeting, very fleeting. I ain't heard the name Andre Ware in so long. Wow, wow. The piano playing quarterback who went to Oregon. He's like he's gonna hit all the notes, and he got to Detroit, and they knocked his butt out. I remember Joey Harrington. See, that's what I'm talking about. These cats you mentioned, and that's why the Heisman then kind of took a dive. You know, yeah, Danny Warfel. That's probably why they didn't give it. That's exactly why. Because Warfel didn't do jack, and you know about Tebow. But Florida used to get some tough draft picks, and I mean, they used to get recruits, and just like Bama did, SC, all that. That just goes to show you, Miami. So all that Heisman, all those guys were pretty much, you know, different era. That's how it used to be. Yeah, he was a buster. Diehard fans even spell his name right and bring his name up because I try not to think about him. Okay, got it. Wow. Hope he do better than his dad, Achilles. Wow. Wow. See, y'all just digging up people I ain't even thought about since. Whew, man, y'all bringing up the cats that I ain't thought about since MySpace era. That's how long ago this is. This is Dusty Dusty. Some dusty names. And there's a reason too. So I remember him wearing number 3 for the Seahawks. That's before Russell Wilson. That's why I was glad Russell turned out good. So I thought, oh, Rick Meyer. Him and Dan McGuire, Mark McGuire's brother, used to play for the Seahawks. He stunk. There's a lot of them like that. There's a lot of them like that. Mm. I'm just trying to sometimes mentally trying to like remember some of these cats because Leak, it was bleak. But when you said Rick Meyer, I'm like, you need to stop. God, Kyle Orton. Oh, I used to have a story about him. Was it him or was it Rex? So anyway, one of them turkeys, I used to call him Mr. 95 Yard. Like if the NFL, like if you're 100 yards in the field, if you could just get to the 5 yard line, be one of the 10 greatest quarterbacks. But it's those last five they couldn't finish. I think it was Kyle Orton because they were together. They were teammates. Diddly D and Diddly Dum. That's what the Bears had for starting and backup. Oh boy, y'all bringing it. Y'all really bringing it. I'm glad you didn't mention Mr. Quinn for Notre Dame. Oh God, there was some bad quarterbacks back then that had crazy hype because they went to big schools, but they got to NFL and they stunk. S- That's why Sam Darnold looks so great because he's these guys got to be thinking we could do a Sam Darnold. Vaguely remember that name. Vaguely. I'm sure I remember him playing though. I think he got hit in one game and that was pretty much it. I remember Cade. Yeah, it was been a long time. I remember old Cade. I remember that. The Bears and their draft picks, and they're so notorious for getting cats that nobody else would get caught dead with, even if it meant a tax write off. He's a offensive coordinator. That's what he does now. He was big, tall, and he took too many sacks, and he just like he couldn't see over the line of scrimmage. It's crazy because this tall dude had no game. Had a traditional name though, Ken Dorsey. Boy, you really brought it back. Mm. And that's cats like that that be getting coordinating gigs. I remember Navarro. I remember Navarro. Oh boy. Glad you didn't say Chris Winky Dinky. That dude was like about depends on where he go. Depends on where he go. See, I at least like to see him get the opportunity. Um, I'll say this in his defense. If whatchamacallit who played for the Steelers back then, who had the multitask with Neil O'Donnell. Come on now. I want my brain going right now. Because he was the all purpose with the Steelers. I think Charlie Ward was better than him if we're gonna do that all around totality. That's the Steelers quarterback back. Yeah, Cordell. I think Charlie Ward could take Cordell. He could at least done what Cordell did with an opportunity. Because Cordell Stewart ended up punt pass play and doing all that. He had a decent okay arm, but I think Charlie Ward could have took him. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, Ted. Thank you. Because I had to go back in time and remember Cordell's career wasn't that long. And he was used all over the field. That's what they would have done with Lamar if Lamar came out back then. See, this is they don't tell you they don't hide their disdain for mobility. Yeah, slash, and that's what he ended up doing. He was doing some when they do the five wide out routes with and the thing is, they had him splitting time with Neil O'Donnell, who threw two of the worst interceptions I've ever seen to Larry Brown. Because Larry Brown for the Cowboys won an MVP, and then he went out to the Raiders, and he ended up looking like the coach Larry Brown. Turner Gill had a good arm. Had a good arm. But Charlie Ward and Cordell were kind of like a line. Yeah. We'll never know. We'll never know. But I think Charlie Ward could have definitely had a good run. Brown got paid. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yep. He got paid and he sucked because he went out to the Rays and became a retirement home. That's why they ended up having the Warren Sapp years later. I said I didn't know that great players go out to the Raiders and go to retirement homes because Larry Brown got out there, Randy Moss was out there, Sapp went out there, and they all look old and dusty. They missed out on that run with Rich Gannon and Jerry Rice because they were there either before or after, and he got out there and was getting toasted. But you played with the Cowboys in the secondary and Woodson and them, so you look good. And Neil O'Donnell threw two picks. Neil O'Donnell threw picks like he owed a bookie some money or something. Those were bad picks. And it was a shame too, because Pittsburgh had one of the greatest all-side kicks I've ever seen. Made a nice run in the second half. And they did a pretty good job against Emmett Smith on the line. All right. We're coming up in the home stretch. I'm going to be on for about a few more minutes. Yeah, Neil O'Donnell. Threw two bad picks. And then he went to the Jets and he stunk it up. Yeah. Nah, just saying. It's a great poll so far. Got a strong, overwhelming support on this one. This is great today. Definitely great. I might come back tomorrow or Sunday, see how things go. Definitely glad I came today. Glad to get the support. There were some trolls here, so we had to weed that out. Kind of was bumps in the road, but these conversations about bringing back some names I ain't talked about in 25, 30 years was great. Or some of the names I haven't even thought about in years. This was great. I think they thought he was too old, and he played up until '93. He is lonely. That's the only excuse I can make. And even having said that, that's why the Steelers are mentally inept. But still, I think that's because they were using his timing against him. I'm glad he didn't go to Pittsburgh though, because uh, would have, you know. But yeah, how did it turn out? Neil on his best day wasn't touching Montana. Wow. Yeah, you definitely bringing up names I ain't heard about. 35 years. It's been so long. Jake Plummer was probably him and Jeff George, two of the best, strongest quarterbacks I've ever seen. If you had those NFL competitions, those guys were spot on. And they were two of the most dimmest light bulbs in the boat. Self centered, indulgent, and just didn't want to listen and hard headed. Talented, could throw the football as well as anybody you ever seen. But their arrogance and smugness, you know. Yeah, I remember that. But I remember when he also gave the fans Larry Bird too. Jeff George over there arguing with his coach, June James. And I used to watch him on that NFL competition throw footballs through a tire. Bad. Dude could throw. I mean, the guy had a crazy gun, crazy arm, just like Plumber. And Jay Cutler too. See, these a lot of these guys are similar. Talented, like got natural talent, but just didn't have the aptitude to finish. That's what's up. I'm gonna get rid of ease on out though. I will try to come back next day or two and appreciate all the conversation. Thank you all so much. I've been on for almost a couple hours. I gotta kind of hit on up, but appreciate everybody that came through. Thank you for the clicks, the views. And I will tell you this: if you want to watch this again, I have it on the. It's on the podcast. You can watch the stream because I still got these up and whatnot. His competitions were top. If you watched his arm strength, you know how they're going about Aaron Rodgers and Elway and all that. Dude had a rifle of an arm, but his this here, it just didn't translate to the field. So don't let people tell you that because someone's got all this talent that because if you don't use it the right way, you abuse it. All right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and step on out, but I'll be working on some videos. I'll probably try to come back either tomorrow or Sunday. So be on the lookout. Appreciate everyone coming through. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Great to see y'all. If you got requests, hit them up because I'm taking stuff and I'm going to be doing some searching. So thank you always, as always. Stay up. All right. Appreciate you out.